Ryan, that is a very boring 4 days of cricket, really. I think we all knew from this morning session when Alex and Emilio went to lunch unbeaten, this game was probably ending in a draw. What words do you have to describe that?
I think that obviously after the first 2 days that we had, it's very easy to be shell-shocked after that. Like, there's a few, obviously, bowlers with scars and stuff, but the facts are that we could have very easily folded. I'm incredibly proud of how our side battled back for the next 2 and a bit days. Guys like Ben Rain, who literally were in hospital the other day, coming out just to get us a few more overs, out of the game was an incredible effort. So I actually look at the game very positively. Yes, they batted brilliantly, but the facts are it's a draw. Like I say, we could have folded, but we didn't. And again, that shows the Durham spirit.
Got to talk about Alex Lees with the bat. Really kind of set the tone yesterday and today with how he went about it. Today with Emilio Gay, yesterday with Ollie Robinson. Just when we needed him, captain stepped up.
Well, that's what you want from your leaders and your senior players, isn't it? And he's found a very nice vein of form recently. In both formats of the game. And when your skipper makes 100 in each innings against the best team in the country on their home soil, that's a pretty good effort. And we saw some amazing batting this game, but don't discount what he did there, because I think the skipper was absolutely phenomenal.
Emilio as well today, unbeaten, 156 for him. He would have naturally been very disappointed to miss out first time around, but he made sure he cashed in today.
Well, that's what good players do. They had some really positive fields against him, and he cashed in, which is it's great. But at the end of the day, like I say, there was a chance there that it was cloudy, it was overcast. If the new ball does what it does in the Kookaburra rounds, suddenly we're in trouble. But those two just literally shut the gate so tight. It's very, very pleasing. And again, mate, he's another player that I'm no doubt will be seeing in higher honours.
We'll touch on the bowlers again. A word on them just for not giving up and keeping on going. Yes, the scoreboard will say what the scoreboard says, but ultimately we'll look at the overs bowled. Matthew Potts was up there. Daniel Hogg was up there. First team game for him in a while. Will Rhodes had to take on a very big bowling load, which he's not really done so far this year. Driz as well, having to bowl a lot. Ackers, just a word for those guys not giving up and not giving in.
Well, they didn't. It's just a funny game, cricket. Matthew Potts nicks Sibley off in his first over of the day. The nick doesn't carry. Who knows what happened? I'm not saying it would have been a massive difference, but there's every chance you're not getting hit for 800. It could have been 400, 500, which is a big difference in the game. So, look, they toiled. Of course, we're not exactly thrilled with how we bowled, but there were periods where they continued to apply pressure, and like you say, they kept trucking in on incredibly hot days. And I know there's a lot of people out there saying, why would we bowl first? I promise you, if everyone looked at that wicket, Surrey looked at the wicket, they were going to do the same. You got to try and take wickets with the Kookaburra ball and trying to get the best of the conditions. So, we attempted it. It didn't work. We move on.
Unfortunately, the injury curse is not leaving us this year. Moving on to the T20s we've got this weekend, the schedule's unrelenting. You guys are back up this evening. First of all, I'm guessing tomorrow's an off day?
Of course, yeah. We'll go in fresh on Friday against Notts, and we'll have to look and rejig. Obviously, Buster Later is with the Dutch now. Ben Rain looks like an extended period on the sidelines that we'll have to wait and see. And of course, Matthew Potts has had a lot of bowling in these last two games, so we're going to have to look at his availability as well. But beauty of Durham, mate, is doesn't matter who wears the shirts, we'll front up and we'll be ready to go. Casey Aldridge will come back with us. He was on loan for us earlier in the year, and he's good to have him back. So it is what it is.
And finally, just how do you guys go about keeping as fresh as you can now? Like we said, the schedule's unrelenting. We're now back into T20 cricket before more red ball cricket. Just For you guys as coaches, how do you guys and the players stay as mentally fresh as you can over this tough period?
Yeah, look, you're never going to get a boo-hoo, poor us mentality. You know, the schedule is what it is. There's no point yelling and screaming and moaning about it. The powers that be are looking into it, and next year you're going to see that things are changing. So, mate, I love my job. That's how I stay refreshed. I love coming to work. I love this game of cricket. So I have no doubt all the coaches do that, and all the players. Yeah, they get bit the grumps on occasionally because of the travel and all the games we play, but mate, they wouldn't swap their job for quids either. So what you'll see is Durham fronting up as we do, and hopefully playing good cricket.